mechanical brofist to you at the prospect of Transformers 4 being even more explosionic than the previous one. Oh yeah! Did you know, fact of the day, that Disney has hired the guy who wrote Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi, to write the new ones? I know, right? Weird. That guy must be so fucking old now. He probably doesn't even know what a spaceship is. He probably thinks he's in a spaceship, that crazy senile old fool. Old people writing new films? Come on. We've moved on, baby. Flying through the woods with Ewoks, that shit ain't gonna cut it. That shit ain't gonna cut it no more. So just you bear that in mind, my friend. You bear that in mind. Welcome to today's Daily Preach on Thursday. The only daily that matters. Yes, it is. The only daily that matters. I don't care if you listen to me while doing non-essential dailies like all of the others are. Oh, Blizzard, does it hurt? Does it hurt? It should do. It should do. I did my dailies yesterday while waiting for an LFR. I thought, what should I do with my time? I literally couldn't think of anything else to do. I was like, I'm in the queue for LFR, average queue time. I was shooting for something. And I was like, what should I do with my free time? I have around 40 minutes. And I went, I'll do my dailies. It was just like, I don't want to do my dailies, I don't want to do my dailies, I don't want to do my dailies. What else should I do? What else should I do? Okay, I'll do my dailies. I'll go do my dailies. And off I went and I did my fucking dailies. Oh, is there a synergy going on? Have I not cottoned onto this idea yet? Has Blizzard been very clever that, one, the majority of people sit their ass in queues all day, and two, they need something to do in between queues, and therefore they're happier, right? So dailies are a perfect marriage between sitting in queues. Like the general population sits in a queue. The rest of us go and do our dailies. Is this what the game is? Am I blinded by love of World of Warcraft? Am I blinded by love? Can I not see the wood for the trees? Is that my level 90 existence is sitting in a queue and doing dailies while waiting for that queue to pop so the queue doesn't seem as long? Is that it? Is that what is? I don't know. I kind of need to have a think about this. But I couldn't think of anything to do. I was like, oh, well, everything's reforged. Got all my gems. I'll go and do my dailies. That was the kind of the decision. That was kind of my decision process. It's like, okay, well, I'll go and do my dailies now. What else can I do? What else can you do? You know, you're questing. I could go and do some quests, but I might as well do the dailies and get the rep at the same time, I suppose. Go and do some quests. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. It was a really weird feeling. But I've got a couple of subjects to touch on today. Firstly, the Shire of Fear still stands. Yeah, baby. The Shire of Fear is standing strong. Although I did see some hot fixes on MMO Champion today, so maybe she was a little bit bugged. The one that interested me is, I assume a lot of you probably haven't done the Shire of Fear. It's pretty cool. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. But there's a bit where you get ported to other platforms. I saw a hotfix today, which was people being ported to the proper platforms, which may have been a bug. I don't know. I'm not saying. I'm not interfering with anybody playing it. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy who's so desperate to bring you news and updates live from the arena floor that I'm mithering people who are actually doing the content. I will speak to them after they have completed the content and see how it all went. So I'm not aware of any bugs, but I saw that hotfix and I kind of thought, ugh, people getting ported to the wrong portal, like Forever Alone. He's like, oh shit, I'm completely on my own, because these portals, the platforms you go to are really deadly, very, very deadly. And you're kind of like, oh, god damn it. This fucking sucks. So, we'll see. We'll see. You know, I'm kind of excited right now. I text Ghosty. I was a really good boy today. In fact, I did loads of awesome shit today. I'm telling you my story before we get into the gaming stuff. Fuck you guys, right? Fuck me. I'm going to talk about stuff that I thought was interesting. Some of you will remember, like a week or two ago, we had the guy who was the plumber guy, right? The plumber guy came and fucked around with my radiators and told me they were working. Oh, was he wrong? He spent all day here fucking about with my radiators. Even made me cancel the daily, asshole. Yeah, they still weren't working. And it was the worst thing ever, because there's nothing. I don't care. Let me put it to you this way. I don't care. I don't like a warm house. I don't. I really don't. Being too warm makes me uncomfortable. It does, being warm. Emma apparently has no blood, right? So she's always cold because she's got no blood. She's like Bella Swan, right? Yeah, I know. But she's kind of got more emotion than that. I mean, she's more like a teaspoon. She's got that much emotion. So she's always cold. Always fucking cold. And I'm roasting. I'm absolutely... It is so warm in my house currently, okay? Even with our broken radiators, that this happened to me. It is so warm that when I awoke this morning, my feet had become so dry because it is so warm that they cracked. Like in between it's like getting a paper cut in between your toes, right? Has anybody had this? You should have fucking had this, right? It's so dry that the skin is like fucking drying. Like actually drying my skin out. And I moved my toe. I was like, fuck me, that's really sore. And I like checked my toe and it was like split in the middle. I was like, what the fuck? How the hell has this happened? How in God's name has this happened? So, don't get all medical on me. It's like, skin can crack while it's cool too. Okay, but this is why this happened. Okay, I'm not saying this is the only way skin cracks. I'm not saying this is the only way skin cracks, right? I'm saying that this happened because it's really warm. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's lupus. I need to go in the Phillips machine. Who gets that? Who watches House? Right at the end of the episode, in the Phillips machine, there's your answer. Like, anybody who goes into House, it's like, oh, House, we think you should check this out. Okay, stick him in the Phillips, because we're going to do that in about 30 minutes anyway. And work out what's wrong with him. It's lupus. Could be lupus. Could be lupus. Stick him in the Phillips machine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. So it's that warm in my house, so I really did not care that the radiators in certain rooms weren't working. Because, quite frankly, as soon as Emma leaves, I'm opening all the windows, because it's fucking roasting. So she called the maintenance guys again, and they turned up while I was editing. I had to do the Arcane Mage video today, right? And I had to make Arcane interesting, which ain't easy. You know the worst thing is trying to think of a cool intro that suits Arcane. With Fire, pretty easy. I just burn everything to death. Frost, I actually had 2 ideas for the Frost intro. One of them involved Demolition Man. Plus one if you can think which scene I was thinking about. Right, but the scene was too long, and it had graphic violence in it, so I couldn't really do that. So I was doing the Arcane stuff, and basically, this guy, like, I just felt the floor rumbling, and it was 2 dudes who brought a machine that was encased in another larger case, like you see on the X-Files when they turn up to create that mobile base thing. They bring this like black case, and what's ever in that black case is seriously hardcore, okay? This is like hardcore shit. So he opened it up, 2 big fucking pump things, cables going everywhere, it looked like Species, plugged it all into some various shit, and then this fucking noise started tear-assing through my house. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? And they were literally pumping high-pressured water all over my house, and then they had these vats of stuff that was coming out of it, and it was all black crude oil shit. And they had to do that 5 times to empty out the radiators. It was disgusting. It was the most vile thing I'd ever seen. But that is not the moral of this story. No, it's not. When somebody is skilled in certain ways, like this guy knows a lot about water. He's a plumber, right? My toilet dribbles water like at the back, and it's like trickle, 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 trickle of water, and it just trickles. It's not loud. It's such a fine stream of water that it doesn't even make a sound. It's just like the stupidest, silliest thing ever. And I was about to urinate, as one does. So as I'm like, can I use the toilet? It's not going to blow the house up, is it? Because you're doing things with water. And he's like, no, it's fine, go ahead. Anyway, I walked in, I saw this trickle. It's been bothering me for a while. And I said to him, hey, you're a guy, this is my exact words, but you're a guy who knows about water. Okay? I said, why is that doing that? So he strolls over to the toilet, and he doesn't even ask me to pull my pants up, which I thought was really weird. And he looks in the toilet, and he says, oh, I know what that is. No problem. Everything that's a problem starts with the words, no problem. No fucking problem whatsoever. So he says, hold this. So he takes the top of the toilet off, and inside is the plastic siphon thing that allows you to flush the toilet, okay? And it's an energy, it's a water-saving thing. It uses the bare minimum of water to flush away your matter, right? Basically, it just makes it so the toilet doesn't flush properly. That's what it's for, okay? A flush is like a gadoosh, like a waterfall, Niagara Falls. This thing makes it go and hope for the best. So he lifts this thing up, and he's like, "Oh, it's not connected properly. It's dead easy to fix." I'm like, "All right." So he says, "Can you hold this thing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm holding my dick." And then he's like, "No, hold this." So I let go of my dick. He holds my dick. I'm holding the lid, and I've got hold of this lid thing. It's got like the flusher cable coming out of it into the back of the toilet, and so. I'm saying he's like got his arms in and he's doing all this kind of monkey stuff and he's like twisting this plastic thing into the fucking bottom of the toilet. And then suddenly all I hear is because it's like the finest plastic ever. It just goes. I know it's broken. And he tries not to say anything, right? Because he's clearly made it so much worse for this piss-ass little trickle of water. But as I've explained in the past, this guy's a total plumbing nerd, right? He can't stand his water being in the wrong place. So this plastic thing like is obviously broken now. But he's still trying to attach it. But you can see on his face, because he's like bent over into the toilet, I'm watching him. Because I love like the human way of trying to cope with these things. And you can see the rage building in his face. Like the blood vessels are just popping everywhere. It's like it's like one of them cartoon things of getting chicken pox. There's like all this shit going on everywhere. And I'm watching him and I'm like, he has to, I'm thinking to myself, he has to say something in a minute. I've got hold of the system thing. And I'm just like, come on. Come on. You're going to have to say it's broken and you're going to have to fix it now, right? Because in the toilet itself, it's like flooding with water now. It's like, it's like a tap zone. It's not flooding so it's going to spill out, but there's water pouring into the toilet. So I'm just waiting for him to say something. And I'm trying not to laugh because I'm kind of an arsehole in moments like that because he's really trying to rescue this situation. It's not rescuable. Plastic doesn't mend. It's not like you can reshape plastic. It's broken. It's just done with. So he looks at me and says, and then he played it off like he hadn't done it. He goes, "I see your problem." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yeah, there's a crack in the plastic." I'm like, "No." "Is there?" He says, "Yeah." He says, I'm going to have to replace it." I'm like, "Oh, what a pisser. That's terrible news. That's really bad. A crack in the plastic, you say?" And he's like, "Yeah, I mean," and then he does the whole classic plumber thing where he tries to show you. He's like, "Look, it's cracked." I'm like, "You're right. We did need a second opinion on whether or not this plastic was cracked. Okay, so just let me take a breath, and yes, that plastic is cracked. That plastic is cracked. It's okay, everybody, relax. Between the two of us, we've managed to decipher that this plastic is cracked. So everyone could just calm down. We're gonna get it sorted." So he's like, "Do you want?" You know, he asked the stupidest question ever. "Do you want me to fix it?" I'm like, no, leave it. I said, "Yes, you know, I will happily crap in the waterfall. I will. It's self-flushing now. Isn't it? I don't even have to. I've saved a job. My pooping has become far more efficient because I'm just pooping into a waterfall. And it's just constantly going to be disappearing all day. And now I can sleep with the constant sound of running water. This is beautiful. This is the best thing ever. Thank you very much, Mr. Plumber Man. You are the best. You are the best." So, that was the shit I was doing today while doing the arcane video. There you go, that was my story for today. I played with the plumbers. They did fix everything and they left at a prompt time which did not disturb the daily. 2 thumbs up to them. They're actually really nice guys, but I like messing with them. The apprentice he brought is the guy... Oh, do you remember this? The guy who tried to troll his dad into buying him a £6,000 PC. So he comes into the boudoir, as it is, and he's looking around. He looks around. Right, there's a map right there of all you guys. Okay. There's tripods. There's cameras. There's more cameras up here, okay? There's also no tools in this room. There are 2 PCs that have got preachgaming.com written on them, right? And there's all this stuff here, and I've got my headphones on. And he deciphers from this, after requiring a 6,000 PC, that I must be building computers. He says, "So, you're building computers for a living?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am. Yeah, that's why I need all the cameras. You know, I need to film myself constructing the PCs so people know I've done it and not just bought it from a store. I film it all. I do. Yeah, this is what I do. This is my living. Can't you see there's no tools anywhere? This is exactly what I do for a living. Yeah. And these pictures are all the people I've worked for. Okay, I built every single one of those people PCs. Those guys in Australia did all their PCs. I'm world famous. You don't know me. I'm the PC guy. You ever heard of the PC guy? That's me. That's me. It was pretty cool. Anyway, he got sitting down. Turns out he's a massive World of Warcraft fan, which is pretty cool. So he's like, "Oh, right." He's like, "So you've raided then?" I was like, "Yeah, I've raided." And he's like, "Oh, what's that? Do you enjoy raiding?" I'm not quite ready for raiding. I do LFR. And I'm like, "Oh, really? You do LFR? Well, I've done some raiding at some points, yeah." And he said, "So what are you doing right now?" Because he could see World of Warcraft on my editing thing. You see the arcade mage thing. He said, "Well, I'm making some videos for the internet." Oh, he's like, "PvP videos?" I'm like, "Well, kind of, but you know, more like guides and stuff." And he's like, "Oh, you do guides?" And he says, "So you play an arcade mage?" I said, "No, they're terrible." And he goes, "Oh, I thought they were really good." And it just got into this kind of newbie conversation. But it was pretty cool because then the other guy was like, "Dude, come back and hold this giant cable of sloppy shit that we have to drain out of this system." So yeah, that's pretty cool. Gaming news. Let's get on topic. It's been 20 minutes. Let's get on topic. Gaming news. The Steam sale is on, but it's just a Thanksgiving sale, okay? So don't go crazy because this winter sale is still to come. This is just like a preemptive one. Some good deals on though. I particularly like the look that Dead Island is only £6 if you're in the UK. Dead Island £6 and it's 4-player co-op. I'm pretty sure we're going to put a forum up which is people sharing Steam IDs and stuff on the preachgaming.com forum. Because you guys like playing together, but you play all different games. And with the Steam sale on, you're likely to buy a lot of fucking games. So we'll just, if you want to do 4-player co-op, because that's more fun, we'll put it on the forums. But there's some pretty stupidly cheap games. But my recommendation is wait till the winter sale. Unless you desperately want something, you've been waiting for it, then go ahead and get it. If it's really cheap. I mean, £6, it isn't going to get much cheaper than that. What are you going to save? Another £2? Come on. Come on. You might as well get it now. Yeah, Train Simulator, I just saw it there. Train Simulator 2013 is on 66% discount. I kind of feel bad for Train Simulator because we really took the piss out of it at Gamescom when they were showing it off. We saw the post, the big booth for Train Simulator. I can't remember what hall it is, but there's a video on our channel of our visit to Gamescom where we see the Train Simulator thing and we cut a promo in front of it. Yeah. Oh, was that Tractor Simulator? I apologise. It wasn't Train Simulator. Ghosty has backed me up there. Tractor Simulator. It was Tractor Simulator. So I'm really, really sorry. It was so we didn't see Train Simulator. But both equally as good. Both equally as good. Let's get to some WoW stuff then. There's a few things I want to touch on which has been sort of like major tweetage going on. Some interesting discussions going on by Blizz. Mainly about transmog actually, which I think you guys might be quite interested in. Before I get to that, let's be a little bit preachy. Why not? As you know, we are moving to a schedule. If you don't know, I kind of announced it yesterday. I'm moving to a schedule with the channel, sort of test phasing through December, mainly based on the fact that I'm going to be filming Way of the Warrior a lot, so video content has to reduce to get that in. So I'm building towards what is going to be the Big Monday video, which will be the staple of the channel. I'm hoping so anyway. I hope you guys really, really like it. I had a sort of test mode on how I was going to do certain things with the World of Vlogs video. You guys loved that. That's got like, well, double the views of, say, the guides that came out that day. And so it's flying up. It's doing really well, as I kind of hoped it would, because it takes me at least 4 times as long. So I'd like to get at least 4 times as many views out of that kind of thing. That makes sense, right? So we're going to move to a Big Monday video. That's not to say it's the only video of the week, by any means. In fact, some of you are asking what the update is on the Minecraft servers. I haven't been on, but I know they've done some wondrous things. I got a lot of screenshots sent to me of things people have done on our Minecraft servers. I kind of want to give you another tour of that. We also want to mix in some other smaller tidbits that are more fun and apply to everybody. But on Monday, it's the big video. I have a list of ideas of big videos. When I say big video, it's something I'm going to spend like 2.5 days doing. And research. So, this is the moral of what I want to speak about today. This is kind of my topic I want to lead us into Friday with. I haven't really had any good drama stories yet, so send those in. Send those in. I've got a couple in storage, which are pretty decent, but they're very long. I also like the shorter ones, so send me some drama stories for Friday. I do have stuff ready for tomorrow, but we want to keep a nice flow going on. So I was researching different MMOs for my Monday video. My Monday video will be sort of me just letting my mind explode. And so I was researching the crap out of stuff from other MMOs. I was really interested in how the MMO genre has changed. I would not consider myself an MMOH, an MMO historian by any means. But it was wonderful to see exactly how the MMO genre has evolved. I thought it was pretty fucking fantastic, actually. I went far back. I went back to Lineage. I went back to EverQuest. I put myself in this position. How many of you played other MMOs before World of Warcraft? I'm interested. Give me a rundown of the games you played back in the day, MMOs. Let me see in some chat, some sort of answers. So yeah, like you see, EverQuest 1 still rocks. And I was going through all of RuneScape. Wow, look at these games. Rubius of Eventide. Fuck me, that's obscure. As far as I know. Ultima, EverQuest, RuneScape, Guild Wars 1, Lineage, MMO for adults. Snobbiness. I played Lineage when I wasn't an adult. Ha! Because YOLO, right? Yeah. Baldur's Gate's not an MMO. First ever COD. Don't just name other games you've played. I play Call of Duty. That's the SpongeBob meme, isn't it? I'll have you know, I played Call of Duty. Fuck you, it's 4-player co-op. Runes of Magic. Lord of the Rings Online. Devil! Kill the non-believer! Lord of the Rings Online? Are you fucking kidding me? Burn! Burn the witch! Burn the witch! Lord of the Rings Online. Fucking terrible. I tried Rift for 5 minutes. They're all pretty new. They're all pretty new. But yeah, it was cool to see how the games have evolved and not evolved. In essence, EverQuest is still WoW. There's really not much difference whatsoever between the two. And you look at the time difference, it's huge. In fact, let's bring it more modern. EverQuest 1, besides graphically, is almost so similar to Rift, which is new, right? Which is pretty fucking new. They're like the same game. And of course, a lot of the Blizzard developers went on from EverQuest into Blizzard, which was cool. But one thing I really picked up on is determination and the lack of faith that I think some of the current MMO companies should take from what has been proven in the past to exist, is that players are fucking determined, right? We're talking about, do you know some of the mechanics of the old games, such as you de-leveled when you died, you lost experience. This was pretty common in most games. My first MMO was really similar. You could lose XP, which is like, can you imagine if that is WoW, you logged out of your character a bit, or you were playing a little while and suddenly you de-leveled. You're in the middle of a raid, you're killing fucking world first Shara Fear and suddenly your character fucking de-levels. Oh, can you imagine? You can't wear any of your level 90 gear anymore. Holy fuck, can you imagine? Yeah, dudes, I can't wear any of my gear because I'm currently level 89. Which is fucking crackers. If you think about it now, how that's like so hardcore right now. So hardcore that if they put that back into the game. WoW's big appeal at the time, it has to be said, was its Care Bear factor, right? I was one of the guys who was like, that game is so fucking Care Bear, I don't want anything to do with it. Now, I wasn't playing EverQuest at the time. I was playing a game called Neocron, many of you will know, which was seriously fucking hardcore, that game. You could ruin people's lives in that game. Well, gaming life, anyway. And I did. I totally did that. I totally fucking did that. You could take everybody's items. Just that sheer fact alone is one of the most hardcore things now. My opinion of that was it was totally normal. It's amazing when you move into a new genre of gaming that whatever starts that new genre for you, you accept as being completely fucking normal. I never questioned whether or not it was fair that I could res an AFK player without his will, kill him again, take his item, res him again, and keep killing him. We called it res killing somebody. So if you went AFK, you needed a piss, right? There was a chance in Neocron you would come back and have lost every single one of your items. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Would you go AFK in a BG? Bet you fucking wouldn't. I bet you wouldn't graveyard AFK in a BG if you'd lose all your shit, would you? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't fucking do it. And so that was, I accepted that as perfectly fucking normal. The answer was simple. Don't go AFK. Log the fuck out if you're not going to be there. Don't do it because you'll lose all your shit, or don't log out in a non-protected area. Even protected areas weren't protected, right? I'm talking about not a place where you just can't attack people, but there were guards. That was it. and a strong enough party of people wouldn't die to the guards, and you would still get killed. So you could log out in Orgrimmar, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. People would come and fucking take all your gear anyway. An organised party of people could easily survive the onslaught of the guards and still kill you. Which is really cool. In EverQuest and stuff, losing XP, even Final Fantasy XI. I went back to Final Fantasy XI, my god. And you could still de-level, lose XP, which is just so baffling. But you know what? Totally normal. Nobody considered it an unusual thing. It's not unusual. I lose XP. So what? That's just the game. It's just the way the game works. I lose XP. EverQuest, we lose XP. Don't matter. You know, that's just the way the game works. It's amazing how we don't question those things. They're just totally normal things. I never questioned it. And then I come to WoW, and I've been brought up in this MMO world of, if I wanted new items, this is exactly how it was. Do you need a new item? Yeah, I kind of need a new epic gun. It was like, I need a new Ash Candy. Okay? Or should we make it more relevant? I need a new Gurthalak Heroic, right? From Madness and Deathwing. I need a new Gurthalak Heroic. Mine's broken. Simple as. I've repaired it too much, it's broken. I need a new one. Then let's go and farm people until one of them fucking drops one. That's how I got my items. I never once created an item in Neocron from PvE. That's where all these items came from. They came from the PvE world. You would go and kill robots, or you would go and kill giant fucking burning creatures, and you would get parts of items, and then a fucking builder would put them together, all that kind of shit. And that would be how you created your weapons. You would have to construct them, blah, blah, blah. We didn't do that. You would go to somewhere where it was popular for people to be and kill everybody until you got your item. That was it. You would have one guy designated to collect all the items and distribute the loot at the end. That was our raid. That was our raid. We go raiding. We just kill everybody until we got our items. What else do you want me to do? Then I come to WoW, and one of the first questions I asked about WoW, when, you know, people are getting their beta keys and so on and so forth. The new game, World of Warcraft, is coming. I looked at the pictures. It was so cartoony. Gay. You know, I'm not age. Everything is gay. You're gay. I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? It looks like a cartoon. I don't want to play that shitty game. And I'm like, well, being all hardcore, I suppose I was what the equivalent of the real, like, die-hard Call of Duty fans are now, at that sort of age, because I was like, what's the PvP like? And they're like, oh, you get battlegrounds. I'm like, what's a battleground? Well, it's like a thing where you go and do this, or, you know, there's PvP out in the world. I'm like, oh, right, so is that how you get items and stuff? Like, no, people don't drop anything. I'm like, what? No, people don't drop anything. So what's the fun in killing them? I didn't get it. I was like, where's the spiteful factor? Where is the evil in this? There's no evil in doing this game. I don't fucking get it. I'm like, what? How am I going to really infuriate somebody if I can't even take their gear? I was baffled. It totally questioned. It's like shattered my entire universe. They're like, yo, but it's got huge bosses. I don't care for PvE. Really, this is me talking on Vent. I'm like, what do you mean? What? Just killing... What do you mean, killing bosses? Like, and you know, just NPCs? Like, yeah, like big bosses, takes 40 people. I'm like, sounds really boring. That sounds so boring. And it was one of the reasons I tried to stay away from WoW, because it was like killing fairies and shit and Legolas monsters and all that kind of crap. It sounds terrible. I don't want to play that game. That sounds so pussy. I'm playing this game. It's well hardcore. I'm like a big fucking manly ass master. I don't want to go around fannying around with this stuff. This sounds crazy. And then somebody was like, oh dude, I just found like a moonwell. Do you know how lame a moonwell sounds when you're that age? Probably not, because maybe you were playing WoW when you first heard of it. But if you are like Mr. Hardcore PvP FPS, hardcore ownage, you know, thug life. Someone says they've got a moonwell. Oh, I found the moonwell. I'm like, whoa, gay. That's so gay. It's exactly how it was for me. And I got into WoW, but now you can see how that progress has come along. But our progression has stopped. Our progression has completely come to a standstill. It was like WoW hit on the formula, which is to be really fucking Care Bear, and it's okay. People have adopted that now, and we haven't evolved any more than that. the new games all look the same as what they did there, but more softer and more, you know, friendly almost. WoW is like the most friendly game ever, isn't it? Come on. If you could just bro hug everybody, you could do. Like, okay, so I'm getting a little bit into PvP at the moment and quite enjoying it. So I started doing a little bit of PvP research as well. I went over to some of the major PvP websites. They sticky. Right, this is the most incredible thing ever. This is how friendly World of Warcraft is. They sticky people preventing you getting DDoSed and stuff. That's their stickies, like on the forums for PvPs to stop getting DDoSed because you can't do anything in the game. You can't do anything. You have to do outside of the game. If WoW was more vicious, there would be no DDoSing. You would be camping the fuck out of people. You would be tearing down their homes and burning their lands asunder. That's what you should be doing, right? Instead, we're going off and DDoSing people because I got your Skype name. Oh, you get shits on noobs. Gotcha. It's such a friendly game. It really is. Like, the worst that can happen to you in WoW is you get camped and God, I have to run back to my corpse. Jesus. This is so hardcore. When you think about it, it's like, it is the friendliest game ever. I kind of adore that now. I really adore that. That it took that sting out of my scorpion's tail a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, and then I will check if you've got any questions for me, is I wanted to talk very briefly about a couple of things Blizzard's been talking about over the last few days, because I've kind of been AFK from the daily for the last few days. That's no problem at all. That's no worries. Firstly, is the big push towards transmog. Now, I know you guys love transmog. I absolutely love it. And Blizzard seems to have really cottoned onto that too. And they are pushing a lot of effort into just transmog gear. Giving you as much transmog gear. And almost making the big emphasis of WoW. I would not be surprised to see if the next year... maybe next expansion, something like that, is everything is pushing you towards transmog pretty much. And just making your characters cool. Making your characters cool. And just provide, I think, a change in direction. Instead of, we need a big raid team, and we need a big raid monster, and we need a big PvP thing. Instead of that, let's just give people options for making their characters look cool through various avenues. I think that's the change in direction of business model. Is let's give people a lot of ways of making their character cool, and just different ways of arriving at that goal. So, like for instance, one of the things, I'll give you the clues. People were moaning about, hey, Klaxi weapons are shit from Reputation that you need for Exalted, and Blizzard straight up is, hey, those aren't rewards, my man. Those are just for transmog. Those items are literally in the game. Just for transmog. You get Exalted and you get some transmog options. This stuff already exists. This is their straight up opinions. These items exist purely for you to have a choice to transmog your character to look like that, right? Which is interesting to me. I think that's pretty crazy. I think that's pretty crazy is that we're putting Exalted, referred to Exalted, is a lot of effort to get a transmogged weapon, isn't it? I mean, are we going to be at the stage? Are we going to be at the stage where we're looking and say, dude, he's exalted. He's exalted. Look at that. Wow. He's exalted. He's got the transmogged weapon, which is pretty interesting. Oh, quick note. Did anybody notice? Okay. Did anybody notice that Dalo has left the lead encounter design of World of Warcraft? I noticed it last week, and if you could check my search history, I was searching everywhere for where the fuck he had gone. You guys might not know who Dalo is. Dalo is quite a big chap, and you might have seen him at the BlizzCon stuff. And he was the leading character designer through, like, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm. He was the guy responsible for Ulduar and TOC. Yes, Dalo, we still remember. ICC, all of Cataclysm, and did something on Mr. Pandaria. And then suddenly they announced this new guy, right? This is what happened. They announced this new guy, and this does fucking worry me because we don't know if this guy's any good. Hopefully he's good. Blizzard tends not to hide. He's called Ion Hazikostas. I assume that's Greek. It sounds Greek. And he was the lead encounter designer of Mr. Pandaria. What? Where's Dalo gone? Because Dalo's done some pretty fucking badass encounters in his time. He's done some fucking awesome encounters. And some fuck-ups. Aphromedes' heroic Dalo. We still remember. We still remember. And I was like, where is he gone? because he's not the leading counter designer of World of Warcraft. I know he's not. So I started Googling everywhere. My history is all there. Because I wanted to talk about it on the daily. It was actually a topic I had written down for, I think it was like Monday's daily. And I was looking everywhere. Could not find anything to do with this guy. He'd just been changed. There have been no reports. I mean, which is quite an important thing, is the leading counter designer has changed. That means that PvE will be different going forward. Because he's not having the final say on things, and he probably has a style that we are used to. Even if you might not notice it, if he has the final say and input on these encounters, then of course there is a style of things going on there. So I was looking everywhere for it. I thought it'd be an interesting topic, is that we're going to see PvE move in a new direction. I had all this stuff planned. I couldn't find anything, anywhere. And they addressed it today, actually, because I knew I'd noticed it, and some other of you guys had noticed it as well and posted on the forum. I thought that Dalo was the leading counter designer. What happened? Scott Mercer, which is his real name, is still with Blizzard, contributing a great deal to. He contributed a great deal to Mists, and is currently working on other things. Project Titan. The leading counter designer is now working on other things. There is realistically only one other fucking place he could be, right? How many more people are edging away? It was like, hey Dalo, do you want to work on the Emerald Dream expansion? I think I'm going to go work in this office over here. They're doing some really cool next gen stuff. I'm going to go over there. Or maybe they were asked, they were like, we need Dalo over here to start working on the PvE stuff. Clearly working on Diablo 3. So this is interesting. Let's talk about it for a sec. Firstly, there's a new leading counter designer for World of Warcraft. Now, I don't know anything about this Ion guy. I assume I'm pronouncing it right. It's I-O-N, so if I pronounce it wrong, I apologize. But I believe it's Ion. And we don't know anything about him. He could have been in the team. He could have been Dalo's number 2 for God knows how long time, for all we know. I'd never heard his name mentioned before. And I do try and keep up with who's designing what, because it's always interesting to say who designed that fight, because he's awesome. Like the guy who designed Wrath of the Lich King, or had most of the input on it, on the Arthas fight, stuff like that. Who designed Madness of Deathwing and the fucking Spine of Deathwing, because he needs to get the fuck out, am I right? Am I right? I'm right. I'm right. There's no question about it. Those fights are fucking terrible. Get the fuck out of me. So I was interested in this kind of stuff. I've never heard of this guy's name. So is this going to take PvE in a whole new direction? Does he have a different fucking way of doing things? Is this going to move towards a more transmoggy style of thing? Is he being brought in because he has ideas based on how to improve 25-man raiding? Because that's the big hot topic in the PvE world at the moment. 25-man could be getting its old gear enhancements back. Could happen. They need a way to incentivize it. They don't want to lose it. Bullshit. They want it to go to 15-man. It's coming. Mark my words. I called it, what, like a year? Like 6 months ago? 6 months ago? They're not fixing 25. They're just going to make it 15. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I'm absolutely fucking telling you it's going to happen. So yeah, this guy's in charge now, and Dalo must be working on Project Titan, I think, which is, I don't know, is it a good or a bad thing? Has he got fresh ideas? Can he work with a new engine? World of Warcraft is really limited now by its engine. You guys should know this. We've hardly had any new mechanics. The whole prism thing hasn't worked. They had this wonderful idea for refracting light. That was supposed to be the big mechanic for Mr. Pandaria. It hasn't worked. It doesn't work in the least. Holy Prism is just a circle of healing. Did anybody ever see how Holy Prism was worded on the beta? I'm sure some of you must have seen it. It was really cool. It was really fucking cool. And it's not. No, it's just circle of healing now. It's just we can't do that. Shara Fear does something with refracting light, but it hasn't worked either. And one of the things I said on the beta while we were trying it, because somebody becomes the beacon and splits the light behind you to form walls, and there's ads on either side. A much better encounter design would have been to have to refract the light in a certain direction. That would have been absolutely amazing. And therefore you could protect the DPSing those ads, and then moved around inside a refracted light area. It would have made it it would have made the whole fight a million times better. It would have made the fight so cool if every other section of the platform was shrouded in darkness and fear, and if you walked into it, you were fucked. So basically you'd have the refracted light as the safe zone based around the tank, and the tank would control where the raid moves. That's what I thought that fight original design was. After I did that fight twice, I said the original idea for this fight must have been to have the tank be able to refract light around the raid. It's designed in such a fucking way. They obviously just couldn't get it working. Or I'm completely full of shit. It's one of those two. It's one of those two. One of those two. I'm reading too much into it, or they couldn't get the mechanic working. But after reading what Holy Prism was supposed to do for the Paladins, wasn't it? Holy Prism? And what it actually does now, yeah, I don't think they could get it working, which is pretty cool. Whew. Sorry. What was the last thing I wanted to cover? Come on, come on, come on. It was about... It wasn't that. Oh my god, I got lost during a day. This is tragic. Oh, I did notice that they mentioned Spirits of Harmony. Going to become BOE. Oh, shocking. We're planning it in the future. Come on, that's not what... Oh, revive me. Revive me. I can't find it. I've completely lost my fucking marbles. The only other thing I kind of wanted to mention, I can't remember the fucking last option that I wanted to bring up to you guys. I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. I'll have to read through pages of stuff to find it. It's not on my notes. But the last one is just all the banning of the arena teams and the fuck up that's caused, actually. And the fuck up that has actually caused is banning all the arena teams. If you didn't know, there's the arena situation right now is really weird. People take that shit so seriously. People think that the top guilds are too hardcore. There is nobody taking things more hardcore than the top arena teams. That is like the most disheveled pit of human despair that exists in most games right now. It's worse than a League of Legends random map. The conversations such as we will literally crash your PCs until you agree to win trade with us are going on at the top of the arena teams, which is just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But a lot of people were doing this and win trading and cheating and pushing their MMRs up and all that kind of stuff. And I know plenty of you are into PvP. So it caught my eye when they said they literally banned, reset your achievements, cancelled all your gear, took your life, your firstborn child, done everything they could possibly do to screw you over and banned you for 3 days. So they had a whole wave of bannings. And then people started to pipe up. It's literally Blizzard banhammered the crap out of some people. Unfairly. I think Blizzard needs to be really careful with stuff, or any game company, not just Blizzard. You need to be very careful when you're dishing out serious punishments that you've done the homework to prove those people are involved. It can be difficult with PvP because you can have obviously more people than necessary on a team. You have 7-8 billion people in a 3v3 team. And so literally if you were associated with any of the offenders, you also got your teams disabled, deranked, your character was rolled back, you lost all your items, your titles, you lost all your gear, you lost all your conquest points, all your honor points. Everything was stripped from you and you were banned for 3 days. This is so scary, is to see stuff like this. Widespread just outright bannings, and anybody who was in the wrong, make a ticket and we'll see what we can do. We'll do it on a case-by-case basis. You lose a lot of good players doing that. Good, honest players. And good, honest players should never be punished. Never. You should never be punishing good, honest players. Ever. That is such a fucking terrible thing to do, because good, honest players will just... they'll be the first to quit. And then what are you left with? The guys who don't give a shit. The guys who will happily buy an account. Oh, you banned me. I don't give a fuck. I'll come back with X on the end of my name. Or X at the beginning. And I'm doing it. Or YOLO. Or fucking... you know those stupid PvP names you see? Like I bake bread YOLO. Shit like that. Ronnie fucking... Ronnie from Jersey Shore YOLO. That's his fucking name. I mean, some PvP players who've bought accounts have the stupidest fucking names in history, and also the ones who've re-rolled to have hilarious names or name changed. Apparently, it's part of the community is to have some crazy name going on. They don't care. The good, honest players are the ones who do care, because they feel really offended, because they are happy with their untarnished record. I have an untarnished record. Kind of. I did some things and I got banned, but I wasn't involved. Again, it's happened to me. This is why I kind of took this personally when I read how many people were banned who didn't deserve it. It's because it happened to me. And I explained that to you when someone told a racist joke on my guild Ventrilo. What the fuck am I supposed to do about that? I wasn't involved. And the whole guild got banned, including me. I'm like, what the fuck? That's what the shit. That's nothing to do with me. And I felt literally like I could have quit the game at that moment because I had done nothing wrong, and I know that. And there's nothing worse than when you have done nothing wrong, and there's a lot of blame coming your way as well. And this is one of those moments. People who are just associated. Let's say it's like I might have a character in an arena team with Genji. Let's say Genji would never do this, so it's a good example. And one day Genji decides to win trade on his team with someone else. He just invites somebody else. Instead of kicking me, he just invites somebody else because I don't do PvP on that character anymore. Say it's my priest. I don't PvP on my priest. He wants to play with something on his rogue, invites somebody, does some win trading. I get banned for it. The fuck? You know, you can't do that kind of shit. It's fucking terrible. No, I didn't get banned. I got banned in vanilla. But I came back pretty quickly. Just pretty fucking scary that they banned so many people and did such harsh action. It's not just a 3-day ban. They guys got arena teams deleted, MMR set to 1500, conquest gear removed, conquest earned tally reset, as well as honor and conquest points removed. All arena achievements earned since the beginning of Mists of Pandaria removed, and a 3-day suspension. Fucking heavy. It's really heavy. So please, that's scary stuff. That's scary. Okay, any questions before I shoot off and get ready to go to the gym so I can be beefcake? Any questions for you? Do I think Paragon and Method are merging? Interesting. Let's have a look. It seems a lot of Method members join Paragon for something behind the scenes and are not telling fans about it. Let's have a look. Sparko. Interesting. I don't know about this now. Oh, nobody's told me. Oh. See. Razzie. Zagal. Flare you. Unless they've moved to Lightning's Blade. Very possible they've transferred to Lightning Blade for some reason. That's what I would read from that they have. Okay. I would read from this that perhaps Method have switched over to Lightning's Blade because something might be wrong with their server. Unless they're getting DDoSed again. I have seen this before. I don't think it happened to Method last time. It happened to Mana Flask. Is that supporters of Paragon, not Paragon themselves, supporters of Paragon, were DDoSing the servers where Mana Flask were raiding. Were they called Mana Flask or whatever? And they had to change realm to stop the server being crashed on them. That's what was happening. And when that happened, of course, everyone kind of joined Guild. I'm guessing. I'm absolutely guessing. But I would take from that, that's what's happening. Kuznam moved. I don't see Shko. Apco went. Ooh. Interesting. Interesting. Just a very rough look. I'm not really checked into this, but that's what I would say is happening. Twisting Nether is fine. Okay, question time. Go, go, go. Recommend a way for me to stay interested in the game. Mop questing sucks. Lost interest at 88. Don't quest. Do something else. Do some PvP. Do whatever. Do some dungeons. I don't know. Do whatever you want. How can you be doing dailies if you're stuck at level 88? You are not making sense, my friend. You're not making sense. Are you gay? Think about upgrading items for Valor. I don't care. I don't care about anything to do with gear. I'm really not interested. I don't care how you attain gear as long as it's obtainable. And that's pretty it. PlanetSide 2, we will be playing it. I won't be playing it till at least next week. Maybe Sunday, actually. Maybe Sunday. Purely because I'm just working too hard. I'm working too hard to sink hours into another game. I know if I log into PlanetSide 2, PlanetSide 2 is one of the games I need hours to play. I did say last week that, or maybe even yesterday, that it might be January when I play it properly with you guys. Which faction I'm picking, I don't care. I think Ghosty's going to try it out tonight. So if wait till, I think Ghosty's streaming this evening. I think he might be playing some PlanetSide 2. If he does, whichever he picks, I will be as well. Simple as that. Any other questions? What do you think about the imbalance of utility classes in 10-man raiding when ranged are overall way better? You're asking two questions there. You're talking about the imbalance of melee or utility classes? Range doesn't necessarily defer to them. Tarubo, no one can answer that question. Stop being retarded. It's a terrible question. You're just going to name somebody else after that? I don't know. Like, you're going to go through a list of warriors and say, are you better than this guy, better than that guy? I don't know. He's better. Answered question. There you go. He's better. Easy. I don't know how many Dreadnought now. What is the funniest DPS in my opinion? Fire Mage. By a significant margin. Fire Mage by an absolutely significant margin. Fire Mage is just so far ahead of everything right now, in my opinion. It really is just stupidly far ahead. I can't even explain what it is, but it's very far ahead. Very, very far ahead. Yes, I've played all the Warlock specs. I haven't done the videos yet, that's all. I have played them all. I don't have Thanksgiving because I'm in the UK. The least fun spec I would say is Arcane Mage. I would definitely say the Arcane Mage. I certainly would. Any other questions about what do I think about this class or that class? So generally, probably, I imagine those are your classes, right? What do you think about you? What do you think about my class? I assume most of these questions are. How have you maintained fun in the game? I love the game, man. I don't stick to one thing. See, people get too tunnel visioned in WoW. I'm a raider, therefore I raid, and eventually you'll get bored of it. Do whatever the hell you like, man. If you're a raider, cool, but do other stuff in the meantime instead of just drilling yourself into one fucking pigeonhole. This game is enormous. Absolutely enormous. Not one person in this chat has possibly completed everything there is to do. You know why? Because no one in the world has. Go out there, explore, find something that you like, because it's out there. This game caters to everybody who has ever owned a game. Easily. Go and find it. Okay, I'm going to go, because everyone's asking me about rogue nerfs, are they getting nerfs and all that stuff. Alright, I'm going. Friday is drama day. You guys love drama day, I know you do. So tomorrow we'll have the dun 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 button ready. I'm going to go to the gym. Thank you for tuning in and having a good time. I will see you tomorrow.